I think this is supposed to be under my chin. My head too big.
Laos is home to over 50 different ethnic minorities and 73 living indigenous languages. The north of Laos is especially rich in both nature and culture, dotted with countless villages and communities, each with their own customs, traditions, foods, and way of dress. With my camera in tow, I have decided to travel out to the far corners of northern Laos to discover the beauty of this great country for myself. My journey started here, in a Buddhist temple by the Chinese border, where boys as young as 10 or 11 take on the mantle of novice monk in search of an education, new opportunities, and merit for their families. Buddhism is the largest religion here in Laos, practiced by 66% of the population. Buddhism is built on the principle of ahimsa, or non-violence, which explains why the boys' defense skills couldn't keep up with my fierce offense. And while I could have stayed longer to teach the boys how better to defend a goal, there's so much more of Lao that I was eager to see. I was beginning to get itchy feet, so I picked up my bag and I started out the trek into some of the more remote and hard to reach areas.
Sabaidi! Sabaidi! Sabaidi!
My first destination was only an hour hike from the motel that I'd stayed in the night before. A little village off the beaten path, known for its crafts and handiwork.
Anyone else hate touching their camera straight after putting sunscreen on? I always feel like, it was weird to go from such a greasy, oily thing to touching my camera. I don't like it. Texture, ugh.
But when we did arrive, the village seemed eerily quiet, for reasons that I wouldn't discover until quite a bit later. But the people that we did see, they welcomed us with open arms.
Sawadee. All the houses appear to be built on stilts. I wonder if that's for the rain season or if that's something to help like with the heat. I don't know actually. I'll have to look into that. Already though, people here are really friendly. I know that's like a descriptor I use for everywhere that I go, but for here it's pretty true. You know, everyone's come up to me and said "Sawadee," said hello, and I really like that. I like it especially when you get out of like the cities, you're more likely to have people say hello to you, and it's just a good feeling. It's like the middle of the day right now, peak heat. So I don't think we're really going to meet anyone at the minute, because I would imagine that everybody's inside getting out of this heat. And that I'm the only idiot who's out, you know, just walking, trekking even. Oh God, it's hot.
Our next destination was a further 3-hour trek through the blazing heat of a Laos summer. But this was nothing for a seasoned traveler like me, who barely broke a sweat.
Is it bad? Can you tell I've been sweating? Can you see where the straps sit? Do you think anyone would believe me if I just said it's because it's been raining?
Sure. If it didn't smell that bad.
It's been raining on my forehead at least. Bye, Dee. There's so many big trucks. Like, what is happening in this town? I keep seeing all these rubber plantations everywhere, and it's no wonder there's so few birds about. It's really sad. What's really interesting about the northern part of Laos is that each of the villages are part of their own tribe and therefore have their own culture. From what we've been told and what we can kind of see from Google Maps photos is a lot of traditions are still kind of preserved here. So what I'm hoping for is, as I trek out to some of these villages, I'm hoping that maybe I can see what daily life looks like here, and if I'm lucky, maybe have the opportunity to document it with a couple photos.
As I walked along these wide, dusty roads, stopping frequently for a passing truck, a thought occurred to me. Laos has the fastest growing economy in Southeast Asia, and many of these communities are succumbing to the grips of modernity at the cost of a more homogeneous Laos. And I began to worry that I may just be one of the last generations that has the privilege to witness these diverse cultures, making my goal to document what was here all the more pertinent. Despite that, I wasn't willing to compromise on my values. It was clear that the people here weren't entirely comfortable with being filmed. So I switched off the cameras and instead worked on building rapport with the people. And I was able to capture a couple photos.
The countryside of Laos, the landscapes are stunning. If I were a landscape photographer, this place would be a dream, you know, a heaven on earth. The people, though, are very interesting. They can be very shy. There's been a lot of instances where, you know, people have just stopped and stared at me, which initially felt a little confronting, but is now kind of endearing and a bit sweet. But there's been a couple instances as well where, particularly with children, they'll just kind of look at me and then scream and run away. And that's been a real challenge. One way that I've tried to overcome this is to find some form of connection or common ground with one individual. In one village in particular, that was by making a couple boys laugh by pulling faces. And once I could engage or connect with that one individual, that acted as like an olive branch to get to know the larger community. But I won't lie, it is tough with how shy they can be.
By this point it was getting late, so we head outside the village, set up our tent, and prepared for another day of hiking. One that would begin bright and early.
Yeah. Yeah.
And again, after making just a few connections, it wasn't long before I was invited into someone's home to experience local hospitality.
Sabadi. That is really good. Lodi.
This single show of hospitality had made the last 2 days of hiking worth it. I was able to experience firsthand the beauty of some of Laos' traditional cultures. In return, all they asked was that I send them the photos, which I was glad to do. Once more, I have been humbled by the welcoming presence of others, and can't help but question where that value, that hospitality towards strangers has gone in my home country. As Laos' economy continues to expand and the country continues to urbanize, I can only hope that along with holding on to their traditions, the people here continue to hold true to that value as well. I want to take a moment to just thank everyone who has stuck around and subscribed to my dumb little videos. I just hit 1,000 subscribers, which is an enormous achievement for me. And I'm so thankful to all of you who are watching and commenting, and you guys fill me with just so much joy and fulfillment. So thank you so very much, and I hope you liked this one.
I've upgraded my sandals with some brand new grip. Look at that action.